Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Back in action. It seems like. So. On the menu today. It's going to be pull-ups, like it says on the title. Oh, crap. My Dipstand is wanting to start a fight with me. So, we gotta first clean up this mess we left behind. Let's get this barbell out of here. Wait a second. Sorry about that. Bit of a interruption. Yeah, I gotta do something about this space. It's getting a bit too cramped in here, but I think we can still get this barbell in here. All right. So, starting off, with the cable pulls here. So last time we streamed, we also did back, but we've done a push-up workout since then. And actually a quick leg workout as well. So it is time for back. Once again, I actually didn't count my reps here. So something like that. Let's also start tracking this workout. Now we do have a bit of an issue here. Not enough space, but this should do it. I'm detecting a slight hint of soreness in my back, so I gotta keep an eye on that. Because if it's too much, then we're gonna switch plans or change plans. I think I could do some kind of a pushing thing as well. But we'll have to see. Good. All right. I think we should be good to go for the pull-ups. I'm going to rest for a bit to gather a bit of energy after that warm-up thing. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to check what we did last time. So, pull-ups. So today, ideally, linear aggressive progression means 9 reps for 6 sets. And again, these are super slow, controlled, eccentric reps. So yeah, I mean, very different from just cranking them out. And this time, hopefully marginally wiser, we are going to stick to that 9 reps. And if we feel good towards the end, then that means I can add another set, or I can add more reps to the last set. So that's what we'll do. And then after that, we'll do just a bit of biceps to wrap it all up. But I suspect this will be pretty difficult, especially since the first sets are very rough for me, because I'm not really, the nervous system isn't really firing yet. So it's usually a bit of a grind, but hopefully we can get through that. I'm also using the Versa grips from the get-go because I do want to bring as much isolation here as possible. And it really helps you focus on your lats. Yeah, it's tough. But all in all, it's better than I expected. I felt a lot better going into that first set than what I normally do, or usually. So that's good. And at least 5 more of those to go. It's going to be probably going to be pretty tough, but that's the name of the game. What's up, abuser? Oh, sorry. Abuzer. Pretty smudgy when I'm looking at the window here. Saying holy cortisol spike. Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. The whole thing. Ugh. But yeah, it's good to have a bit of a spike, at least early in the day or earlier. Well, it's pretty well. It's 1 p.m. here now, so pretty late with that. What's up, Q phone? How you doing? Glad to have you with us here. Where are all of you from? I always want to learn where people are. People are in the world. Yeah, I really need to. I guess I really need to rest properly before I jump into the other one, because these are gonna be tough sets. What's up, Guv? Asking, mistä tommoset dippitangot saa? So in English that means, where did you get your, or where can you get those dip stands? So this one is from a company called, I don't know if you can see it properly here. Let me check. Well, I guess you can see it decently well. This is from a company called HC Pro, or I guess it's hardcore, but HC Pro. So in Finnish we would say HC Pro, as you know. Yeah, this is from them. This I actually got super lucky. It's a good company to keep your eye on, because especially if you're living in the area like Nordics or something, because they have a lot of outlet stuff. I think what they do is they basically order, or they design and order a bunch of different models, and they sell a few of them and they see how they do, and then they kind of keep the winners and get rid of the losers. So they have a lot of stuff that kind of comes and goes really fast. And I think this was kind of like one of those, or even like a prototype thing, where they built this. And what I was desperate to get a dip stand back then, and I was appalled by how expensive they were. I was like, I'm not going to pay like 300, 400, 500 euros for a dip stand. Like, that's absurd. So I saw this one, and it was like an outlet price. This was like a new one. They were selling a new product, but it was like an outlet price. So I think they kind of decided maybe not to continue with it, or they just wanted to get it out of the door. But this looked really great to me because this is all, you know, proper steel, and it's a self-standing. I didn't want to have a rack attachment because I don't like how they feel. They get really wobbly and it's not nice. So I wanted to have one that stood on its own. So this is all steel construction, really sturdy. It doesn't even have a name. It was just like a dipstand. So it was a new model that they tried, I guess, but I haven't seen it ever since. But to me, it ticked all the boxes because it's pretty small. Like, it's less than a meter by meter footprint. This is like maybe, what is this? 75 centimeters by 75, maybe something like that. Really tall. You can step on it from these ones. Really nice. So yeah, I guess I probably paid, with taxes, like 150 euros or 170 or something like that, which is nothing. And you know, if you buy it as a company, you obviously get the VAT off from that. So it was like, as far as these things go, it's like free almost. So I've been really happy with that. But yeah, HC Pro, it's a really good company to check out if you want to get some cheap, good stuff. Q Phone says, doing good, how about you? I'm from Germany. Nice. Whereabouts? Where in Germany? Erkument is asking, Abuzer? Question mark. Maybe you know each other. Goof is saying, thanks for the info. You're welcome. Yeah, that's a good company. You want to keep an eye on the outlet section or the sale section, whatever it is. They have like insane offers, like all the time. A lot of equipment like 60% off, 70% off, and it's like, it's good quality. It's not like top tier, because those always cost like thousands of euros. But if we're talking about really good quality, like home gym, garage gym equipment, it's a really good place to keep an eye on stuff. Also Strength Shop, the European site, that's a good one. Those are probably my kind of two go-tos. Really good value, price versus value. Let's do another set, because this is just like a Dipstand review session now. All right. Still not sure what I think of these Versa grips. I think they have good things and bad things. I'm not sure where my complete opinion lands on them, but they're probably one of the better wrist strap options. Yeah, that's a fair bit of fatigue. I will say that. Hopefully this gets slightly better as the sets go on. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I would say, like, regarding the Dipstand, it's they're pretty difficult to find, like good ones. I think the attachments are perfectly fine. They're perfectly fine if the fit is really snug. But with this, like, I have a half rack here. I don't know if it necessarily gets any better if you have a full rack either. depending where you put it. But I don't want to do my dips feeling like the whole thing is shaking. It's not good. You need stability on such a movement. It's a tough movement, and yeah, you really want to feel super sturdy pushing. And I got the attachment for this originally, and it was like super flimsy. So even though I know the rack will stand because it's sturdy, but it didn't feel good. And the other option that I looked at was like, yeah, like 300, 400, 500 euros or something like that. Let's actually have a, where's my phone? Oh yeah. I'm gonna have a look if they, because I've never seen that Dipstand ever since. So that's why I think it was like a prototype. And yeah, some kind of a weird prototype outlet product. Okay, yeah, so the Dipstand, the other one that I looked at, full price, 395 euros. You really gotta love dips for that price. But it looks sturdy, but again, the footprint of that is a lot bigger than this. And also the height is an issue. Like, I want to be high enough so I don't, so you have clearance. So you can actually keep your legs straight if you want, and so forth. So, what's up, Yashi on YouTube? How you doing? Yashi asking, what are you hitting today? We're doing some pull-ups and then some biceps to wrap it up, round it off, I guess. So yeah, pull-ups, wide grip, very slow, eccentric. And doing a few sets of that, and that will be enough to destroy you. Pull-ups are such an interesting topic to discuss from the perspective of like hypertrophy versus strength. Like you doing pull-ups as many as you can, doing whatever it takes to do them, very different from doing very controlled pull-ups, especially controlling the eccentric down. It makes it's a whole different world of pain. So while the numbers we're doing today, not to say that I'm good at pull-ups or strong or anything like that, but the numbers would be very different if the point is just to get up to the bar. But since I'm trying to build some more muscle, this is what I'm doing. So I've chosen, like Saruman says, what does he actually say? This is the worst quote ever. Quoting somebody and not remembering what they say. Does he say, you have chosen what, something pain? Oh shit, we gotta look this up. Let's go to our friend here. In the Lord of the Rings movies, what does Saruman say to Gandalf before he swings him up to the ceiling and squashes him there?
That iconic scene. So in the Fellowship of the Ring movie, when Gandalf confronts Saruman in Orthanc, there's this moment where Saruman basically tells Gandalf that there's only one Lord who can prevail. He says something like, against the power of Mordor, there can be no victory. We must join with Sauron. And Gandalf refuses, of course. Right after that, Saruman uses his staff to basically fling Gandalf up to the ceiling and slam him around. So it's essentially Saruman saying, you should join with Sauron. And when Gandalf refuses, well, ceiling time happens.
Doesn't he say something specific about pain? That you've chosen the path of pain or something like that?
Exactly, you got it. So he does say something along the lines of, you have chosen the way of pain. That's the kind of dramatic line Saruman uses right before he sends Gandalf flying. So yeah, it's definitely a very memorable moment, and that phrase, the way of pain, is definitely in there.
Thanks. There you go. The Way of Pain. Yeah, we've chosen the Way of Pain. And just like Gandalf, I'm also going up. But I'm also coming down. So... Man, I love AI. Such a good good buddy to have. Alright, next set. Let's go. On the Way of Pain. Okay. Jesus. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Yeah, it's gonna be tough to do all the way till the end. Let's jot that down. There we go. Oh. So, what else is new? Where's everybody from? I know we've got a German in there. Yashi makes me think of Japan, but I don't know. You let me know. This place looks like a prison. We got this one window into the free world. It's like a dungeon prison. I guess if I had to be in prison, it would be pretty nice to just work out. So, yeah, pull-ups are really one of those staple movements you don't really want to live without. They are just so much bang for your buck. They really take care of the back holistically very, very well. If I could just have one back movement, that's what it would be pull-ups for the upper back, I would say. I've really been enjoying the seal row, but it's like it's a very specific beast of its own. I think it's probably doing really good for my rear delts, but it's and also like really upper back, but it's very different from something like, is my mic, is this even catching me? I guess it is. Maybe I should put it back here. Let's put it down here. ready for a new set. I don't know how much else to do, I guess. All right. Come on. Shit the bed. Yeah, that's tough. I guess I shouldn't be surprised since we are aiming for a total of, what is it, 6 more reps compared to our previous baseline. So yeah, it's on a pull-up, it's gonna be tough. So I'm gonna jot down 9 reps, but I'm gonna write last one was iffy. Still rep, I do count it. It's a bit dirty, not completely the way I want it, but this gives me the kind of the note, gives me an idea of what it was like. So in the future I know what to compare it to. We would have 2 more sets. We're gonna have a hefty rest here. Of course we're gonna go for another 9, but if not, I'm gonna break it down into more sets. So what I'm gonna aim for is, so 54 sets would be 9 times 6. So we want to be in that ballpark. And put down the goal. To be something along those lines. Or if it's more, then great. So we've done 36 so far. This is one of those methods that I also like to deploy, just following a total number of reps. It's not, let's just say it's only one metric, but it's one way to force progression for sure. So it's definitely worth tracking. Of course it's more complex than that because not all reps are equal, and obviously if I do more reps in more sets, that's a whole different story than if I did it in less number of sets. But again, a lot of this forcing progression is about the ability to move the numbers in different ways. So you want to track basically a number of metrics and try and figure out which, you know, what can you progress on this time. That's really important. What's up, Bryson Sells? He says, I'm drunk, Ash. I'm not sure who Ash is. Or is it like as hell? I'm not sure. What are you drinking, my friend? Me personally, I have water, electrolytes, and also the remnants of psyllium, as I added to my water to increase my fiber intake. Usually I don't drink psyllium when I'm working out, but I didn't. I had a bit of tea before this, so I didn't want to force down too much liquid. So this is the remnant psyllium of what is left after or from the water that I had during my meal. There we go. I managed to complete a sentence. So my BPM is now 81. Oh, no, it went back up to 88. I don't know why. But I'm gonna take... I should have actually tracked this. So about 5 minutes is about what you sort of maximally in this case would need. Beyond that, doesn't really get much better. But yeah, so point is, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do as many reps as I feel like I can do cleanly without any weird jankiness, and then we're probably going to use that rep amount for the remainder of these sets until we crack was it 54? I thought I wrote it down here, but yep, so 54. What is that? 9 times 6, right? Yep. So we would need 18 more reps. That seems pretty a bit tough. But let's think about it like this. If I can do 6 sets of 6 still, and I'm gonna try and do more in a set, but that gets us there. So, but let's go set by set here. I'll just try and do as much as possible, but I won't go for shitty reps. We already did one rep that was, I wouldn't say shitty, but it was iffy. It was not definitely something that's within the realm of what the hell is happening here. Yeah, that rep was definitely not in the realm of super strict clean form. All right. Yeah, that's just about what I can give. Ooh, the energy fatigue here is pretty real. So, yeah, usually for me, for these big movements, it's really the the nervous system quits way sooner than anything else. So 7 reps brings us to 43, right? Yep. That's not too bad. We're looking at 11 reps at this point. Yep. So we gotta dig those out of this body somehow. Hey, I can't believe the stream has 18 viewers right now. Why don't all of you tell me where you're hailing from? I'm just so interested where people are from. Like, it's so cool. People are so different, living such different lives, and fascinating because we get so stuck in our ways, and that's why traveling is good. But I think it's just one way of kind of reminding ourselves of how crazy this whole thing on this planet is. What's up, Arnav Desai? Saying, hey man, just hopped in. What's your biggest advice for doing pull-ups? So generally, are you asking like how to get into pull-ups, or like how to start doing them, or what's the best kind of technique? Arnav says Australia. Nice. You're really far away from me. I'm in Finland, so basically the other side of the world, exactly. Where in Australia are you based? So I assume you're asking about technique, or sort of that. The reason I'm splitting that into two parts is because it's one thing to know good technique and good form, but if you get on the pull-up bar and you can't do a single rep, all of that information isn't very useful to you. It is important to know, but it's like a different story of how to get into it. Yeah, Arnav is asking what's the best technique. So this, first of all, pull-ups, like we touched on earlier, it really depends on what your goal is. If we're saying that you want to maximally build muscle, then my pull-up advice would be very different from just trying to do as many pull-ups as possible. So let's say you were applying to, you want to go to the military and there's a pull-up test. The technique for that would be very different. But assuming you want to grow maximal muscle, one of the first things is to do a pull-up from a complete dead hang. So a lot of the time when people start doing pull-ups, they realize, wow, pull-ups are difficult. Let me actually turn on the fan on this camera before it overheats, because that can happen. So let me fire that up. There we go. So yeah, when you start working out, you're going to realize, hey, these things are hard. And because they're hard, you don't want to do them properly. But the issue is you're not doing them properly. So full range of motion is always super beneficial. When it comes to the pull-up, full range of motion means that you start from a complete dead hang. Now, when you're hanging from the pull-up bar completely, and not, trying to keep yourself as close to the bar as possible. Again, people do that so that the travel distance would be less, because you kind of impulse, or sort of intuitively, I guess, realize that doing a pull-up from here is a lot easier than doing it from here, because this is the most disadvantageous position. It's a complete dead hang, and you're going to have to recruit a lot more muscle to get up there. So people don't want to do it properly, but it's worth every single penny to do it properly from the beginning, instead of doing shitty pull-ups or other movements for years. and then not build as much strength, not build as much muscle. So start a pull-up from a complete dead hang. That's gonna assure that you get full range of motion. You're gonna get a great stretch, which is also important for mobility, but stretch is also, a loaded stretch seems to have a lot of significance when it comes to growing as much muscle as possible. So do your pull-up from a complete dead hang. And of course also finish the movement at a complete contraction, if you will. Go through the whole range of motion, not just parts of it. What's up, J Car? Saying hello on YouTube. Nice to have you with us. So really, that's really the biggest thing. With pull-ups, there are many different grips that you can do. You can do a wide grip. You can do a neutral grip, which means that your hands are in neutral position versus not pronated, not supinated, but neutral. You can do a less wide grip, which is like a normal pull-up width. You can do it obviously with your hands supinated. So there's a bunch of different things. I'm a big fan of wide grip pull-ups. To me, they work the back the best. This is not like a thing most people would agree with. Most people would say like a normal grip, or even like a neutral grip pull-up would be the best. But I'm a big fan of wide grip pull-ups. They're, to me, by far the most difficult one. But in terms of overall back development, I would start with those. And if you can do wide grip pull-ups really well, you can do the other ones also really well. Going back to that pull-up technique, what else is there? The thing about pull-ups, the beauty about it, assuming that you start from a complete dead hang, is that your body is kind of automatically adjusting itself to the right position in relation to the bar. It's like, it's really difficult for you to muck that up, to get it wrong. Versus if you're doing like a lat pull down on a machine, like this one, it's actually a lot easier to mess it up, because the bar that you're actually pulling is not fixed to one point. But when it is fixed, like it is with this rack here, you can only get yourself to that bar, versus with a lat pull down, the bar can move in all kinds of positions. So a lot of the pull-up technique is actually taken care of when you do a complete dead hang, and it works your entire upper back when you do that. Arnav says, yeah, that's good advice. I'm a victim of half pull-ups, not gonna lie. Yeah. I mean, it's super understandable, because when you start doing them, it's like, wow, these are difficult. And the difference between doing pull-up from here, and like I said, is night and day compared to a full, complete hang. So, but the thing to understand is that every single rep that you do with a complete dead hang it's worth far more than these half reps. The half reps are really problematic in many ways. You're gonna create a lot of muscle imbalances for you, a lot of trouble, a lot of problems in a lot of areas, most likely. So not advice. And also you're gonna hit a plateau really fast as well. So it's a bad idea. You're gonna hurt yourself and not develop strength and muscle. So that's it's an ego thing. And I say this with all love. Like I've done it. Everybody's done it. But it's like you have to humble yourself in the face of that difficulty, and know that if I'm going to do one good pull-up today versus 10 shitty ones, it's still better. It's like infinitely better, because you're also doing an investment into your own future. Because when you do reps with good technique and good form today, that you're building that base of that pyramid, that foundation, and it will let you make more gains in the future. Versus if you don't build the foundation now, you have nothing to build on. So it's still, I would always take the better reps over the shitty ones, even if there are more of them. Marley Robson asking, what's the proper technique for archer pull-ups? I actually don't know. Jay Carr is asking, what's archer pull-ups? That's a good question, because I don't know either. So Marley says, one arm completely straight and pressing onto the bar. Head above as well, it's hard to explain. Life's too short for hatred. Jay, there's no need for the negativity. Oh, well. Jay just said strange. Strange. I don't think he meant any harm. At least not to my eye. Archer pull-ups, let's have a look at this. So, this sounds... Oh, okay, these are the ones where you go from like, this to one side. Like something like that. I mean, this is the weirdest thing I've ever done on a live stream, but... Yeah. These are like... I guess I've heard these with another name, like arrow or something. So... To be honest, I would need to think about this before I critiqued this. This seems more like something like a, is it like a calisthenic type of a thing? You for sure need to be coordinated, probably also strong for this. Yep. So I couldn't teach you the technique because I've never done an archer pull-up myself. Yeah, this seems like something you'd want to do if you're sort of more into... I don't know, but this, just looking at this and what I know from it, seems like a calisthenic type of thing. Or some like... maybe some sports-specific use you would get out of this. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would imagine that, again, the strictness of the movement is super important, because if I imagine this, you're hanging and you're pulling yourself up to one side, it's, first of all, you need pretty decent upper body mobility to pull this off, and you need strength to pull it off. And like body kinesthetic awareness, it's because it looks tough. And if you're going to do that, I would want to see that form and that technique be super strict, because I can see how a movement like that can easily turn into something super ugly. This is the thing, like, you should never mix the idea of I did the movement with what is the actual outcome that I want to see. Like, do you want to grow muscle? Do you want to grow strength? And if your goal is like hypertrophy, which is to grow maximal amount of muscle, then the numbers, they are of course of significance, they matter, but in like, I don't do bodybuilding per se, but I am interested in hypertrophy for sure. But in there, it's like you're measuring the effectiveness of what you're doing, and not necessarily the fact that, because again, I can do a very different amount of pull-ups just if the standard is just do a pull-up, like get to the bar. Completely different goal to using pull-ups as a muscle building tool. And as you've seen here or will see, I'm trying to come down from the bar as slow as possible, because it seems to have a lot of hypertrophic effects. To be under that tension, to control the rep, it makes it infinitely more harder, rather than just letting gravity do the work. So again, you have to remember what is the point of why I'm doing this. It's not just... I mean, if your goal is to say, I can do 50 pull-ups, okay, if that matters to you, then great. And then you can just do it with a technique that leads to that result. But with that archer pull-up, it seems like the whole point is to be very controlled with that movement. The point isn't just to complete the movement, but to actually have the control go through the full range of motion. I can imagine the archer pull-up is probably really demanding for your, you know, upper back. Basically everything around the back of your shoulder, upper mid-back. Probably great for that. I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that as a number one thing if you wanted to build muscle, but yeah. It really depends on what you want to do. Boris saying, looking strong, bro. Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm trying, at the very least, trying to get there. We have been gaining some muscle recently, but we're still a bit of a ways from where I want to be with this. But I appreciate the kind words. That being said, let's do another set. Finally, I gotta lift my trousers so they don't drop. I should really get a new pair because these ones don't have the strap, what do you call that, cord, the thing that tightens the trousers. So these ones are a bit spicy in the sense that they might fall rather easily, but you have to pay for that kind of stuff. Well, actually you can't pay for that stuff, but I mean, if you want to see that, well, let's be honest, nobody wants to see that. Okay. Okay, so that was 8. Better than I expected. The thing is, I think we rested for longer here, so probably the rest gave us that extra rep. I could have busted out one more, but I don't think that would have been very clean. So I'd rather keep the cleanness of the technique here and do another set. So that was 8, which means we are at 51 reps. Our goal was 54 if we did 6 by 9. Yeah, I calculated that correctly. So would be nice to be able to pull off another set like that. I think that would leave us in a really good place. We would quite significantly beat the 6 by 9 goal. Of course, it's not the same because, again, we didn't do the reps within less number of sets. But it's still something worth keeping in mind. Yeah. I would actually be really interested in seeing how many kind of pull-ups I can do sort of military style. Like if I went to like a test for the military for pull-ups, I would do them very differently. I wouldn't certainly waste the energy coming down from the pull-up bar because that's not the point. But it would be interesting to know as a metrics, as a metric for sort of general fitness, I guess. For like a normal PT style test or something like that. After this, we're gonna... So 2 things I want to do. I want to do some Bayesian curls at the end of this, and then I want to do some preacher curls. But I'm not sure which way I want to do it. I'm guessing I'm gonna save the preacher curl for last, because that's the most disadvantageous movement. Let me think about this. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. The world's best beatboxing right there. All right. The day after tomorrow, I am gonna receive a CPAP machine once again to try and fix my sleep. Simultaneously looking forward to it because I get to treat my sleep apnea, but simultaneously not looking forward to it because it's not exactly, how should I put this? It's not very natural to sleep with it. But I actually got pretty used to it last time I used it, and it's gotta be done. That's the main thing. Gotta get that sleep in the right place. Guessing the only remaining thing that I need to figure out is the pressure levels, because it kind of ramps up to the desired pressure level. To me, last time it was so aggressive that if I feel the force next to my lungs, and it feels pretty tough to not wake up to the sensation of something forcing your lungs to expand. Which I don't believe is exactly the point. The point is to keep the airways open. So I'm gonna have to see what I can do about that. Maybe tweak the pressure, if that's okay, by the treating healthcare professionals. But we'll have to see. Okay, so last set. This one is It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Yeah, getting this other strap in here. Bit of a workout in itself. Let's do it. Come on. Yeah, exactly the same thing with that last rep compared to one of the previous sets. Is it still rep? Yes, but not as clean, not strict. Well, I wouldn't say not as clean. I would say not clean, not strict. But bit of a different thing for what's up, Vortex, saying strunk. You are strunk. Have you seen that meme? That's one of my favorite memes of all time. Ah, I'm growing strunker. That's tell me if you've seen that. Because if you haven't, you gotta see that. Yes, I am growing stronger. Yes, my muscles are getting bigger. Such a stupid thing, but I love it. Okay. 59 reps. Cool. Awesome. So again, I noted down 8 reps and noted down last one was iffy. Still a rep, but not perfect. Not great. So yeah, a bit of a different thing. If I know I'm at the end of a workout for a muscle, if I can cleanly squeeze out a kind of sort of a grinding rep, I'll do it. If I know that most of it is nice and effective, because there basically I'm missing that one piece of last squeeze, I guess. So I do give myself leverage from a hypertrophy standpoint to do that, as long as I'm not compromising any sort of I'm not injuring myself or doing something that can lead to an injury or anything like that. So towards the end of a set, it's perfectly fine. I don't blame anybody for not doing it. I can see the points in both. I feel like for me, I don't probably pay for that too much. And this is something I'm experimenting with right now because previously I've done things very sort of cleanly only. But now, as I want to move into more hypertrophy work, it's something I'm testing with. Because that getting to that failure, or close to it rather, is really important. So for this, I think we're probably gonna sorry for the horrible noises here. We're gonna move the camera because otherwise you can't probably see much. Let's see if we can get the camera somewhere. Let's get this mic in here. Maybe get the camera somewhere over there so we can get some bicep action. Let's this will be a bit of an acrobatics exercise, and also apparently side delts. Damn. Hello there. Yeah, this is. I'm actually using a. Oh, there's my bald head. Actually using a. What is this? A microphone stand for the camera, because it's actually exactly what I need. Have a bit of a space issue here, if you haven't yet seen that. Let me check this frame. Does it make sense? Yeah, that's okay. Let's do that. So, yeah, not a lot of excessive space here. And I was wondering, like, why can't I find a camera stand with like a round base, like a really solid round base, and just you know, have it be there. Like, those are super sturdy and they take up very little space. They're quite adjustable. So I thought, like, you know, why is it so difficult to find a camera stand like that? And then I actually found that my frame for my camera, or the case, I guess, has a slot for those bigger screws that we use in music. So, works like a charm. It's amazing. It's otherwise, like, a tripod takes up so much space. It's ridiculous. Ugh. Okay, let me. Okay, I'm actually pretty fried. Oh my god. Woo! That ain't easy. Pull-ups really did a number here. So for these ones, I really want to make sure my shoulder is really back and down as much as possible. Take a step back, have a full stretch out arm, and then just curl my bicep. And not try and move that elbow much. Oh. So, like I've said before, it's, even though we've been doing pull-ups, still, even if it uses biceps, which it of course does, even if that's the case, my arms really need that slight warm-up to get to what was I going to say? Get to the kind of working weight, even if you use your biceps with a pull-up. It's just, I need to go through the range of motion. I need to kind of warm them up. So that's why I start with no weight and I add it slowly. And that's pretty much it. There's a temptation to skip that, but I've learned that my body really needs it, that my arms need it, so can't get around the issue. Oh. Oh God. But it's here where I can definitely see that pull-ups did a number on them anyway. Yeah, this is just something I've always found that arm volume, arm workouts, for me, and this probably speaks volumes about my training methods rather than the truth of it, but for me, I've always got the brunt of my arm size from compound movements. It's just kind of the way I am, and I find I need to do a crap ton of arm stuff to see anything, and then it becomes a question of fatigue versus the benefit, which previously has been minimal. It's something, again, that I'm testing with, because before I just had this, like, when I was at my biggest, I just wanted to be big and strong, and then I realized, like, okay, if I do a bunch of arm stuff, it doesn't make a difference, and then I struggle to recover my arms until the next compound, like a bench session or a row session. So then I just ditched it pretty much altogether. I maybe did like a few sets at the end of a workout, but I think that's still probably for me like the main thing, to kind of supplement, you know, spice out, put a bit of that arm stuff at the end of these bigger movements. And but yeah, since I want bigger arms, kind of gonna have to do something about it. So all right. Oh, yeah. That's it. That's the spot. I love that exercise, or that movement. 124 BPM just from doing arms, doing Bayesian curls. So one of the things I really like about that movement is that it's kind of pointless if you don't make the technique perfect. Like, I love that you have this big stretch, and then you basically just, you know, bring your arm or your hand to your shoulder, or bring your forearm to your upper arm. And I love that it's, when you do the technique very strictly, you can just either do the rep or you can't. Nothing in between. And here, and you notice here very easily if you begin to do this, because you're not supposed to really, you know, start doing this with it. At least to my knowledge and experience. So I just love that you make sure the stretch is big, that range of motion, and then you just bring your arm. And it's beautiful. You get a beautiful stretch, and you just execute, you focus on the technique and the stretch, and then you do it until you can't. Or you quit sooner if you want. I don't know how you train, but I love this movement because it's just like that. It's kind of like you just tick the boxes and it takes care of the rest. Beautiful movement. And I like it when you can just focus on technique and form and just execute, and that's it. And it's like, obviously it's such a small muscle as well that it's the pain associated with grinding reps is not that great, it's not that big. So now we have the challenge of getting that preacher curl bench over here. So this is the comedy portion of this stream. Since we gotta try and make this happen, which is easier said than done. Ugh. Yeah, this, we gotta really figure out something for this one. Ugh. So, oh shit, let's not destroy anything. Oh. Let's also not brush my toes. I've already broken one toe at the gym, and still hurts. It was a long time ago. Okay, let's get my bald head very close to this camera, and I'm gonna take you back to where you came from. Oh, what's happening here? Okay. Here we go. Something like that. Are we still streaming? Looks like it. Okay. Good. Let's do something like that, maybe. Yep. Then we are missing the easy bar. The easy... Jeez. Getting to the point in a workout where you begin to lose the ability to speak. Easy barbell. Can't speak. Easy bar bell, I guess. Easy curl barbell? Jeez, I don't know. So, now let me take my sweet time with this because this is still a new movement that I'm very much getting used to. Not bicep curling in general, but specifically the preacher curl. And also this can be a bit, how should I put this? Definitely a very demanding position for your biceps. So you've got to be mindful of what you're doing. This is not what I want to do. I want to do narrow grip. There we go. Alright, well that's very light, of course, being the barbell. So I'm just gonna slowly jack up the weight. Ugh. I think last time we were doing 5 on each end, so we added 10 kilos to this. What's up, Louise Fitness? Am I saying that right? Louise? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Louise Fitness saying, hey, what's up? That's an impressive beard. Thank you. It came out of my face. One day I woke up and... well, that's not true. I'm sort of... let me get these locks from the reverse hyper here. Yeah, I've sort of got to the point with the beard that I'm just like not... I really don't know what to do with it, because it's on one hand it's yeah, it's getting out of control, but the thing is, like, I hate it when it's not taken care of, because it gets super shitty looking when you don't put beard oil, etc. But then I'm like, oh, I need to cut this. Then I wash it, put beard oil, what? Beard oil? Yes, beard oil and beard balm. I love beard balm because when you have a big beard, beard oil just isn't, excuse me, enough. And then I get to the point I'm like, I actually kind of like it, and I also like that I don't care. I do care. I mean, I care about the way I look, but it's it's just something about the whole bigness of it. But yeah, I find the not caring aspect a bit amusing and interesting. Louise, okay, so said Louise, oh yeah. I tried to Americanize it in my mouth. Louise asks, okay, I have to ask, does the nose strip really make a difference? Yes, it does. Despite having a colossal nose, such as mine, doesn't work all that well, being as big as it is. I don't know what feature. I have a really good smell, I guess. Although every once in a while I smell things that are not even there. Thanks for the follow, Louise. So I don't know how good the smell is. The weird thing is, like, when I train a lot and when I get some of these health symptoms that I have, I smell things that are not there. So I don't know if it's even more messed up than I think. But yeah, despite having this colossal thing in the middle of my face, doesn't work really well when it comes to airflow. So I actually find it actually helps a lot with actually expanding the air intake ability. Like a super easy way of knowing whether this helps you or not is to just grab 2 fingers at sort of just below where the kind of the bone turns into cartilage. I don't know, people have very different kind of noses, but the kind of soft area here and pulling it to the side. And a lot of people find that they can actually get in a lot more air easily. So for me, it does make a big difference. But it's not for everybody. Not everybody needs it. So yeah, I do recommend trying it. But you don't have to buy them. Again, you can just kind of pull the skin to the side here and see if it helps. And obviously it does make more space in there. So for a lot of people it will. Louise says, regarding my beard, I feel like it's your look. Yeah, it definitely is. At least right now. But I don't know, it's weird because sometimes I'm like, hell yeah, and then I see myself in another place. I'm like, geez, who is that homeless dude? But it really comes down to whether I have time to take care of it. You say it looks like you've straightened it. I have not. The thing is, it's like when you put beard balm on it, kind of. It does definitely straighten up a bit, but all I do is I wash it, then I brush it when I wash it, which is a pro tip for people who have big beards. Really helpful. So it does kind of straighten out a bit in that, and also when you do put oil stuff there, it does slightly straighten it, especially after you brush. So it does give like slightly kind of that kind of a look. Yeah. Louise asks, is your septum deviated? I don't know. I don't have like a professional hasn't had a look at it, but I'm pretty sure there is some kind of fuckery there, some kind of I think especially on my left side it's definitely more cramped. I don't actually know what it's deviation, just that it's like not, what's the word that I'm looking for? It's like, I know what deviated means, but like, is it just narrowing or misshape or something like that? Dry Scooping says, picking things up and putting them down. Yeah, that's right. Although I haven't been doing a lot of picking lately, but pulling, pushing, rowing, all that stuff. Deadlifting hasn't really been on the menu for a long time, except RDLs if you count. Louis says, I was a part of this running club a while ago. They gave us one to try, so we're talking about the nose strips. I couldn't tell if it worked. Okay, so yeah, sounds like you actually have a functional nose. So yeah, definitely, I mean, not worth using money for if you don't find any use in it. For me, it was like, holy crap, like there's a noticeable volume of air that I can get in through my nose compared to not having one. So it's a big deal. Louise said, I would think your beard is polarizing. People either like it or not, or don't. Yeah, I guess that's true about every single physical trait. So it's, I mean, a lot of traits are kind of neutral, of course, but yeah. I actually did have a guy at the shop today who stopped to compliment my beard. So that was very nice of him. Yeah, I mean, to me, I do like, shall I say, like looking polarizing, because what I enjoy about it, well, first of all, I want to look this way. I don't look this way just to be polarizing. But what I do like is when people let me know who they are as fast as possible. And your looks are one way to figure that out very fast. So, yeah, obviously I'm I look a certain way. Let's leave it at that. And yeah, a lot of people can find it scary. They can find it stupid looking, whatever else. But yeah, I think the main thing is you got to look the way you feel inside. You got to look the way you feel comfortable, and then just let the chips fall where they may. And also, if somebody is, you know, judging you very harshly based on your looks, it's not a very good sign, you know, not a very good trait in a person to not be able to open up sufficiently to allow you to show them who you actually are. So it's I also like it because a lot of people look at me and I see the judgment on their face, and I know who they are as a result of that judgment, to a degree, not completely, of course, but I know where they sort of stand with this kind of stuff. So that's very, very, very convenient. Also, if you want to, I just started a set mid-sentence. Well, this is not a set yet. So, yeah, I just like saving time, because if you are one of those people who judges others very strongly based on looks, I mean, we all make judgments, but whether you kind of judge somebody, I would prefer to know that sooner rather than later. And then I also know what I'm working with. I know what are the kind of things I need to maybe address in that relationship to move past those kind of things. So, yeah. Louise asking, wait, you're from Finland? Yes. I could not tell from your accent. Yeah, good. Yeah, my dad only speaks English to me, and so it's been my not mother tongue but father tongue. And then I also went to a English speaking school, and then I also studied in London for a few years. And yeah, I prefer English if I get to choose. I do love Finnish as well, but it's not as me as I feel like English is. But yeah, both are lovely languages. Louise says, I've been to Helsinki a few times. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's a nice city. It's pretty interesting because obviously by sort of Finnish standards, it's the biggest city, but it's not like a, wait a minute, did I already add weight? I think I did. It's not like a big city. So it's an interesting vibe because it's how should I sort of summarize this? I guess you get maybe the best of both worlds, kind of trying to be big, but it's kind of big in a Nordic way, but still smaller in probably, is it the smallest Nordic city? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, like capital city, Nordic capital city. But yeah, it's an interesting vibe because it is kind of bigger, but still smaller and chill. So yeah, definitely an interesting vibe because, again, going there from any other city in Finland, you go like, oh, this is bigger. But then coming from London to Helsinki, you're like, oh, this is a small town. But it still kind of tries to be a bigger city, resemble that. But I like that they've sort of managed to maintain a certain Nordic openness to it, I guess. It functions pretty well as a layout for a city, I would say. Not a big fan of the surrounding areas. Like getting into the city is a bit shitty, and also the all the surrounding smaller cities where basically people just go to live and then they commute to Helsinki. That's something I don't like. I would not like to live like that myself. But each to their own. And if you have to live in Helsinki and, well, work in Helsinki, then it's kind of not many other options are there. You're from Singapore. Nice. I was just about to ask. So it was different. My dad is French, mom is Thai. Nice. That's a good combo. I found the people so welcoming. Cool. That's good to hear. I think Finns are super nice and welcoming. Once you get past the initial barrier, I think people have this kind of a colder front and this kind of grumpiness. But once you really get to it, yeah, I'd say Finns are overall actually quite hospitable and nice. So, but yeah, definitely definitely different from Thai and French cultures for sure, based on what I know, which is pretty limited. But yeah, but also if you're in Helsinki, I guess the upside is that people are sort of more people of the world, I guess, like more cultured, more understanding of the bigger world out there. So there's that. But also in Helsinki, people are definitely more like grumpier than everywhere else. But again, I feel like once you get past the mundane crankiness, then people are very nice. And I think Finns are so, in a way, like alienated from the outside world that when they see or meet foreigners, they're actually super interested and excited about it. They're like, "Oh, you're from there," and they want to be a part of it and learn from you. So I think that's a big upside. They are far more easily impressed about someone being from somewhere than, if you go to the UK or France or something, because they are so, there are people from everywhere there. So, but what if there's one thing I need to know about Singapore, what would it be? What's the best thing? I guess those are, different questions. What are the best and worst things about Singapore? Assuming that doesn't get you in trouble saying anything about that. Yeah. Louis says, my friends want to do a trip there again. Do you have recommendations? So I'm really bad at this because I basically never go anywhere, and I'm not much of a like a well, how should I say it? Yeah, recommending things to do, because I just basically do the very few things in my life that I enjoy. But if you go to Finland, I mean, in terms of recommending stuff in Helsinki, I just don't know, because I don't go there very often and I don't know much about it. I would say that it would be worth it to maybe try and rent a cabin, maybe next to a lake that has a sauna, and kind of go experience the cabin summer cottage thing in Finland, and go to the sauna, go swim in the lake. That would probably be something I would recommend. Some people might really enjoy the archipelago, so the island area, but that's more towards where I live, in like near Turku. So it's like, there's a lot of islands there. So there might be, it's like a very unique, if I'm not wrong, I think it's the most sort of island concentrated areas in the world. I could be wrong about that, but I remember reading something like that. But geez, what to do in Finland? Yeah, I'm really just not the right person for that. But yeah. You were here in the summertime, you were swimming and going to the beach so much. Yeah. Yeah, I think the nature is probably like the best answer. Maybe you could go like to a nature, are they like nature reserves? Nature parks, nature reserve, I think. I think if you can, going to Lapland is special, different. I would probably go there during the winter. It's probably the most magical during that time. But there are other like natural parks, natural reserves, I guess, and you can hire a tour guide and they can show you around. So I'd probably look into something like that because the nature is probably one of the best things about it. So, yeah. Louis says, even the guys were perfect gentlemen, like opening the door, helping me with my bags. Yeah, that's really nice. That's how it should be. Yeah, things I should know about Singapore, that it's Singapore. It's summer all year round at 85% humidity, not for the weak, but it's super safe. Nice. Yeah, I was in Japan, 2 years ago, I think. Yeah, it was definitely pretty hot and humid, but yeah, I like it a lot. I like the nature there. I actually love the nature there. It's really different compared to this place. So yeah, that obviously that's different from Singapore, I would presume, but it's in that same rough zone or part of the world. So yeah, never been to Singapore, but I've heard very good things, great things. So it'd be nice to visit someday. Yeah, I'm just gonna hike this up to the working weight and then I'll just do that instead of wasting energy on these. I do have a couple small plates here. I love these small plates for a bunch of stuff, but even for arms, it's really great because you get these really nice smooth progressions, assuming that's what you want. But also I can have a look super funny when you have a lot of these on the bar and they just don't take up a lot of space. And also it doesn't mentally get to you as easy. You can get caught up in having big plates on your bars, but this kind of bypasses the whole issue, so it's nice. Louis says, yes, my friends there convinced me to swim topless when I was in Finland. It's so open there. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the kind of the sauna stuff, like, and it depends on the context. I mean, not in a public beach, of course, unless it's made for that. I think there are a few somewhere. But yeah, people go to the sauna naked. That's just how it is. It's just would be super weird to go there with like swimming trunks or towels. But yeah, I would say it kind of depends on the people you're with, but there's definitely a strong culture of you go into the sauna naked and everything that relates to that. If you go from the sauna to the lake, it's perfectly typical to go there naked as well. So Louis asking, I didn't go to a sauna there. The ones in Finland are mixed. So if you go to a public place, in most cases not. If you go to like swimming halls or whatever you call them, women and men have their own saunas, but people are naked there still. There are some mixed saunas for sure, but it's kind of context dependent. In this case, I would be sort of, you know, if let's say a bunch of people rented a cabin somewhere and went there, it wouldn't be atypical for people to go to the sauna in a mixed fashion, but it wouldn't be atypical for men to go first and women then, or whichever way around. It kind of depends on the culture, but there are some public saunas that are mixed as well, but I would say that's more rare. But it does depend on who you go with and where you are. There are some social contexts there, so. But yeah, if you go to like a some place where you can swim or a spa or something, then yeah, most cases the saunas are not mixed, so they are separated. Louis says, I'm 22, so my friend group there was trying to broaden my horizons a bit. Yeah, it's good to see different cultures. Good to experience different sort of things like that. I would say the more you go into like maybe, yeah, I mean it really just depends on who you go with. I don't want to make any rougher generalizations about that. Louis says, that's so interesting. Do you ever go with female friends that way? Not with friends. I've never been big on the nakedness with the opposite gender, unless that's something I actually want. So I personally don't find that it's something I want to, you know, show to somebody who's not like, you know, not intimate with. But I wouldn't like, I'd say it's fairly typical for a bunch of people to be perfectly fine going into mixed saunas. They wouldn't care much, or at least say they don't care much. But I just find it socially a bit of a gray zone, and I'm not saying everybody thinks about it in a certain way, but I know that not everybody thinks about it the same way. So for me, it's a bit like, first of all, I just don't think it's anybody's business except my partner's. That's just me. But I'm kind of like a bit like private in that way. And again, I don't judge anybody who wants to go in a mixed sauna. And I know there are people who genuinely don't care, like it's not a thing for them. But some people are really like casual about their nudity. But personally, I'm not. So I wouldn't be comfortable doing that. But yeah, I would say quite a lot of people in Finland would be fine. But yeah, I would say majority of those would be guys, and I wonder why. No, so. But yeah, it would not be atypical. But yeah, I'd say most people are not as... What's the word? I'm thinking of prude. Is prude the word? I hope it doesn't mean something completely else. Let's have a look. Person who is or claims to be easily shocked by matters relating to sex or nudity. Yeah, so it is the word. What's up, Suleiman, on YouTube? How you doing? Hope you're well. Yeah, so yeah, I'm definitely more prude than the average person. Louis says, you seem so confident, I'm surprised to hear you say that. Yeah, I mean, it's not, I don't find it to be as much of a matter of confidence to me. It's more like privacy. Like, I think it's, I don't think it's anybody's business except my partner's. Like, from going to a female perspective. I mean, if men go to the sauna, nobody has anything on. And that's perfectly fine, perfectly normal. I have no issues with that. But with the opposite sex, I would not personally do that, because again, it's just, I don't feel like it's something that belongs to anybody else to see. So it's just me. And of course, you would wanna do what you've agreed to be okay with your partner. Because again, I wouldn't blame somebody for saying that, hey, I don't want you to go into a hot, sweaty room with naked women. So I would be, you know, it's like, yep, I find that to be a pretty reasonable ask. And also, a lot of people are not as honest about that sort of stuff as they claim they are. Like, if people are super casual, like, oh, I don't care. It's like, very few people generally don't have any kind of sexual ideas or connotations or anything relating to that kind of stuff. I think you can go there and decide not to care about it or not to focus on it, and realize that, you know, it's how should I put it? Like, people understand that it's not appropriate to sexualize this situation, but it's very difficult, if not impossible, for most people to kind of completely remove that aspect from it. So I find it to also be kind of disingenuous if you did feel those things but still did the other thing. That makes sense. Louis says, I agree with you. Full nude feels way too daunting to me. My limit is topless. Yeah, I mean, understandable. And even that, you know, is can be quite a lot, you know. Can be a lot to reveal. All right, I think this is going to be the last set. So let's make the most of it. Good. What's really interesting about this is that I find there to be a very interesting kind of resistance curve here, because I would expect it to be the hardest at the full stretch, but it's well, typically it's been associated for me with like the most maybe pain at the stretch, like a good pain, not a bad. But here, the first time I felt like a sticking point here, which is really interesting, which I haven't had so far with this. Again, this is a new thing for me, but it feels very interesting. I haven't felt that sticking point with this earlier, so it's really good. And it's far higher than I expected as well, which is very interesting. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. At first I was skeptical because I did feel some elbow stuff, but that's been better now, so yeah, good piece of kit. Louis says, in Asia I get judged for not wearing a bra out. Is that like, can you do that there? Or are there like specific places? Because I would think that it would not be like, is it legal? Good. Okay, so I think the thing is we would need to do our compulsory single ab wheel set. So let's do that, and I'll move this over here. Good. Then this bench, ideally, theoretically, is gonna go here. And this one, the torture wheel, is gonna come out here. And then we're gonna probably gonna shimmy that around a bit. Louise, you can, but you will get stared. Oh, wearing a tank but no bra. Okay, yeah. Well, that's, yeah, completely legal here. Fine, as well. Yeah, you probably get stared here as well. For multiple reasons. Some people have positive thoughts about it, and some people, and you know, in some cases maybe too positive, maybe too excited, and some people are gonna frown upon it. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I was kind of like automatically thinking completely topless, but I mean, to be fair, people would frown if I did it as well for very different reasons. I assume you make fitness. Do you make content, or is it just like a hobby for you? I'm just assuming, looking at your name. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna move this mic over here so it doesn't break. Shit. Come on. Shit the bed. I mean, the thing is, it does work the abs for sure, but I always get to a point where something else gives in. Before it's been my wrists. Before that it was my shoulders. And now I actually felt it in my tricep more than, well, not more than my abs, but that was a new one. Not significantly, but yeah, usually my wrist stuff begins to ache. Well, yeah, that's good. That's actually the first time, now that I'm doing those again, that I felt sort of secure doing that. So that's nice. Feels... So, yeah, some ab strength is being established. Yeah, torture wheel. Louis asking, I'm curious with your aesthetic style, what do you think of it? You mean like, you mean like no bra? I mean, stuff like that, I don't, it's everybody's preference. I don't judge. I think it's everybody's own business. I think people should be able to dress and wear what they want. I think for me the only kind of limit is certain things that kids shouldn't perhaps see. Again, I think you know kids are developing little creatures, and I don't think they should be exposed to certain things that are overly sexualized before a certain age. I'm not saying like not wearing a bra is one of those, because I don't think it is. But just as an overall point, I mean, that's where I stand with it. I think people should wear whatever they want, and be comfortable in that. In terms of personal preference, I don't really have any. I try not to. What is a good way of saying this? Being on the internet live. Yeah, I guess that's really the best. I don't have any personal preferences of whether women wear bras or don't. So yeah, and I try not to stare at other women too much. I guess I'll leave it at that without getting to any more problems. Louis says, I don't post, but I just built my own home gym. That's nice. Started lifting a year ago. It's good. Excellent. Louis says, well, that's not helpful. But aesthetically, would you say it's better to wear one or go without? Aesthetically. I guess that would depend on a person's breasts. Let's leave it at that. Leave it at that. I would probably say bra probably with clothes looks better in most cases, but people have very differing sort of equipment there, so looks different for everybody. Yeah, so that's gonna be my answer. Team bra. Yeah. I'm not sure what I need to explain, but specifically. But yeah, that's gonna be my answer. Looks. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. That's gonna be my answer. Team bra, all the way, till the day I die. Cool, awesome. I'll accept it for now. Am I on Discord? We do have a Discord. It's not something I've put any focus on, but there is one. I think it should be in the links if you're on Twitch. So you can find me there, and then on all the other socials, they should be linked over there as well. Cool, that's it for this session. Thanks for everybody for tuning in, and thanks for the follows. And catch you later. As always, take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Finished.